You want society to accept you, but you can't even accept yourself.
And we're back. We know you love Magneto, and basically so do we. If there's anything that we've learned from Star Wars, is that you don't just stop after 3, do you?
Never again.
So we're back with Volume 4 of the top 10 badass moments of Magneto in X-Men films. At number 10, Eric Lenscher searches for Emma Frost and reads her mind. Our White Queen, Emma Frost, doing her usual thing with the top Russian official to extract sensitive information, but Eric and Charles decide to play spoilsport to the old man's party. Emma won't give up short, and letting her go isn't an option. So, what do? You fire up Charles' psychic power. But it's Emma Frost we're talking about here. She covers herself with the famous diamond skin, and Charles can't get through. So, Eric steps up and brutally crushes the jewels out of Emma.
Eric, that's enough.
Eric chains her and chokes her up to the point that Emma doesn't have any other option but to return to human form. But to our sheer disappointment, Emma doesn't say harder, daddy. One more second with the diamond coat and Emma would have made some fine diamonds to import.
Shaw's declared war on mankind, on all of us. He has to be stopped.
I'm not going to stop Shaw. I'm gonna kill him.
Coming in next is the chess match conversation. We think the best moments of Magneto are made up with his amazing power and ruthless attitude, but he can be just as awesome without even moving metal around and crushing things. Eric's worldview versus Charles' worldview is probably the best form of superhero clash in these movies.
Tomorrow, mankind will know that mutants exist. Shaw, us, they won't differentiate.
Eric doesn't want to just beat Shaw, he wants to completely annihilate him and kill all the humans, because he thinks humans are the disease and mutants are already the evolved beings. A cold, calculated chess match, frenemies spitting out straight facts and amazing dialogues, Eric holds his ground all the way through and ends with a major Slim Shady vibe.
Killing Shaw will not bring you peace. Peace was never an option.
Here you have the chance to be part of something much bigger than yourself. And it needs you, Eric.
Next up, we have Magneto being an indecisive teenager and not being able to decide whether to destroy the world or to save it. At the end of X-Men Apocalypse, Magneto's going full force, tapping his raw power to shake the core of the Earth to destroy it. Apocalypse is a pretty happy dude until Eric turns into Brutus.
You betray me.
No. I betrayed them.
Anyway, Eric states his return and Apocalypse is like, too, Eric. Magneto pulls all his might and rains metal on Apocalypse. It's a gorgeous mess. Eric was pretty strained emotionally thanks to going from killing the world to saving the world. Imagine if Quicksilver then went ahead with the, you're kind of my father, no biggie, just saying it, just so you know. Magneto probably would have sure lost it and dialed up Dr. Manhattan to buy a property on Mars.
I'm here for my family too.
Mr. Stryker, how kind of you to visit. Have you come back to make sure the taxpayers' dollars are keeping me comfortable?
At number 7, William Stryker visits Magneto. This is one moment that's more of what Magneto can do than what Magneto usually does. For a part-time superhero and a full-time supervillain, he sure knows a lot about mutants. He may not agree with Charles's and his students' worldview, but that doesn't mean he would want them to die.
I'd like to have one final talk about the house that Xavier built.
So when Stryker makes him divulge all the information, it's kinda sensitive. So old Eric's locked up in a metal-less prison and Stryker visits for a little chat, let's call it. By chat I mean forcefully injecting serum and making Magneto talk. The data that he gathers from Magneto shapes up the rest of the film. Stryker attacks Charles' school and he also gets to know everything there is to know about Cerebro. This way Stryker can capture and attempt to use him to kill all the mutants with the help of Stryker's mutant son Jason.
I can only manipulate the fire. I can't create it.
You are a god among insects. Never let anyone tell you different.
At number 6, Magneto meets Pyro. Now, Magneto the Orator is as powerful as Magneto the Mutant. Eric does get some of the coolest lines in the X-Men series, and thanks to his killer attitude, they make quite an impact.
They say you're the bad guy.
Is that what they say?
In this scene, Pyro meets Magneto on their way to Alkali Lake. Pyro, being the arrogant brat that he is, tries to measure Magneto. This one scene's purely psychological and a testament to marvelous writing. Magneto senses an opportunity and immediately reverses the concept of bad guys for Pyro.
Pyro.
What a talent you have there, Pyro.
Then he impresses the young guy by showing his power and then returns the lighter with his own hand, thereby establishing trust. Now, gullible Pyro's already low-key certain that he's going to side with Magneto, and Magneto did that within a minute just sitting in a jet. No chest-thumping supervillain ego, just pure class. Up next, we have Magneto taking control of the Sentinels. Imagine controlling the very robot that's specifically designed to kill you. For this one, we're going back to the early 70s when the Sentinel prototypes are taking shape. Eric boards a train, without a ticket mind you, plucks out the rail lines as if they're nothing, does his usual metal wizardry, and manipulates the mainframe of the robots with his magnetic powers. Eric activates and starts controlling the very things that almost kill him in the future. The same Magneto, however, can't beat the Sentinels in the future since they've been upgraded to be absolutely unbeatable. Back in the 70s, Eric puts on a grand show with the Sentinels at the stadium and makes a strong statement in front of Nixon. Jeez, that took some guts.
What are you doing here? Why do you ask questions to which you already know the answers? Don't give up on them, Eric.
Ah, the old frenemies. And yet another moment where Magneto outshines Professor X with his sheer dialogue delivery and scary determination. Charles knows Eric, but Eric knows Charles that little bit better. So when Eric's walking away from the Capitol, Charles tries to do something he's been doing his whole life, persuading Eric to be good.
It was a long time ago. Mankind has evolved since then.
Yes? Into us.
Eric's seen enough in the world to know that men are the disease, and in this stage of evolution, mutants are the higher beings. Magneto knows the age of human tyranny is over, so he's determined to topple the hierarchy. So he completely owns Charles by walking away and delivering the scary little warning.
We are the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
Magneto can be a villain, but goddamn, does this dude have some personality.
Eric?
Eric, what are you doing?
Up next, Magneto fires a bullet at Raven and then fights Beast. Whatever happens, Magneto's always taken it upon himself to change the world, for good or for bad. Back in the 70s, Mystique tries to kill Trask so that the Sentinel program doesn't even get started. Magneto tries to stop her because that very act will start the program.
As long as you're out there, we'll never be safe.
He jumps in like a total badass and pulls Mystique, who has a bullet in her leg. He tries to kill Mystique in broad daylight because he thinks that it's just the right thing to do. Hank McCoy beastifies himself and chokes the living daylights out of Eric. He drowns Eric, and just before Eric loses consciousness, the Metal Man surges through and the Beast is tamed. Eric is engulfed with hatred and determination, and he doesn't even look at his enemies before flying them off. Ironically, their little circus in front of the public actually becomes the very thing that starts the Sentinel program later on.
All those years wasted fighting each other, Charles. To have a precious few of them back.
In the runner-up spot, we have the conversation between the wounded Magneto and Professor X. As we've already said, if both Charles and Eric are together in a room, you'll get the most awesome lines from Eric, not from Charles. And this one's about a bittersweet homecoming. All these years, we've seen the two men growing old, fighting each other, yet believing in the same thing. Days of Future Past brings us to the terrifying Sentinels who are absolutely crushing the mutants in battle. Even an alpha-level mutant like Magneto can only manage to hold them off for just a little bit of time. The Sentinels eventually get to Eric, seriously wounding him. He retreats to the chamber with all hopes lost. Moments away from their death, the two frenemies have one last riveting conversation. Eric finally realizes that after all these years of fighting, it amounted to nothing. Only if they'd joined forces, they could have beat the evil. It's a crushing moment of self-realization, and we can't help but feel emotionally devastated. And finally, at number 1, Magneto gets his helmet back. This is the moment when Eric becomes Magneto. Eric is a stone-cold man on a mission. He kills the guards in style and breaks through everything single-handedly. The moment of reckoning finally comes. Eric stands face to face with the helmet and it comes to him, shattering everything. He's still worthy. Magneto's reborn again, and if this scene wasn't already the coolest thing ever, the road cut makes it even better. Eric takes a moment to look at the bloody coin he used to kill Shaw. This reminds him of everything he's gone through and the things he's done to be where he is now. The X-Men movies have generally been hit or miss, but one thing that's consistently right is Magneto. Both Michael Fassbender and Ian McKellen are acting powerhouses, and they've made our favourite mass murderer look so interesting. Magneto's killer instinct and damn fine mutant powers make him an invincible foe and a badass character on screen. Such is his popularity that we've already made 3 videos featuring the best of Magneto, so make sure to check them out as well. Comment below with your favourite Magneto moment and let us know if we've missed anything. You never know, we might just come up with a volume 5 for you. Like the video, share it with fellow Magneto fans, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel TVRegent to get updates of new X-Men videos.